planning to jointly invest more than $1 billion to address critical vulnerabilities in rare earth supply chains. That funding comes alongside a broader push to boost energy security between the two allies. Here's Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi.
Together with Anthony, we will continue to weave a new chapter in Japan-Australia relations and open new horizons for cooperation among like-minded countries. Anthony, thank you.
This comes after China tightened rare earth export restrictions on Japan in January. It's a blow for Tokyo, which relies on China for over 60% of its rare earth supply. Australia has been emerging as a natural partner, holding the world's fourth largest rare earth reserves. But it's looking to get help from Japan to refine those minerals. The two countries are also aiming to deepen cooperation on energy. Meanwhile, Takaichi also struck an agreement with Vietnam to deepen cooperation on rare earth minerals during an earlier visit.
The effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz has been inflicting enormous impact on the Indo-Pacific. We affirmed that Japan and Australia will closely communicate with each other in responding with a sense of urgency.
The Iran conflict in the Middle East has disrupted Japan's crude oil imports, pushing Tokyo to tap its strategic reserves. Natural gas and coal have since become key energy sources, with Australia supplying about 40% of Japan's liquefied natural gas and a majority of its coal. The two countries also agreed to strengthen the Quad framework. It's a diplomatic partnership between the U.S., Australia, India, and Japan, committed to fostering a free and open Indo-Pacific. A diplomatic success for Taiwan. Its president has finally arrived in the African country Eswatini on Saturday, despite efforts by China to block the trip. Here's more.
Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te had a warm exchange with King Mswati III on Saturday as he struck a defiant tone on the surprise trip to Eswatini that triggered Beijing to call him a rat. Lai had planned to travel to the landlocked African country for the 40th anniversary of the king's accession last month. But Taipei said Beijing forced 3 countries to pull their permission for Lai's plane to fly over their airspaces. China views democratically governed Taiwan as part of its territory with no right to state-to-state ties. It's a position the Taiwan government strongly disputes. In an address thanking the king for his support, Lai said Taiwan is a sovereign nation. The 23 million people of Taiwan have the right to engage with the world, the president said. No country has the right to prevent it from contributing to the world. The king reassured Lai that Taiwan has his country's backing. Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland, is one of only 12 countries with formal ties with Taipei.
Taiwan's participation in the international community.
Lai landed earlier in the day in the country of 1.3 million people on an Eswatini government aircraft. Neither government had announced the trip beforehand. Late on Saturday, China's Taiwan Affairs Office likened Lai to, quote, a rat scurrying across the street. It denounced the secret trip in a statement, saying it would be met with ridicule by the international community. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council, which oversees the island's China policies, said Lai did not need Beijing's permission to go anywhere. It called China's comments boring in the extreme. Seychelles, Mauritius, and Madagascar were the countries that had revoked Lai's overflight permit, according to Taiwan. The move had prompted the U.S. to criticize China, with the European Union and several Western countries also voicing concern.
Taiwanese media report that Eswatini sent the king's plane to Taiwan with its deputy prime minister on board. Officially, the trip was framed as an exchange visit. But in reality, it was a covert mission to transport Taiwanese President Lai to the African nation, sidestepping the originally blocked route. It remains to be seen how Lai will return to Taiwan. The U.S. had complied with Beijing. It then flew over Australia. For both legs of his trip, he used the King of Eswatini's private plane. The African country's deputy prime minister was also on board. The aircraft took a $1 billion. His co-conspirators have pleaded guilty and are expected to be sentenced later this month. Defying pressure from Beijing, Taiwan's president is standing firm on the world stage, lighting the return from a 3-day trip to the African kingdom of Eswatini on Tuesday, saying state visits are a basic right.
Dear friends and fellow countrymen, the earth is round. The world belongs to everyone. Taiwan belongs to the world, and Taiwanese people are global citizens. Taiwanese people have the right to go out into the world. We will not back down because of suppression.
Lai was supposed to travel to Eswatini last month. It's one of Taiwan's 12 remaining diplomatic allies, but he had to cancel that trip due to pressure from the Chinese Communist Party. China pushed 3 countries to revoke flight permits, denying Taiwan's president transit through their airspace. Chinese officials said they were highly appreciative of what the 3 countries did. Lai rescheduled the trip, arriving in Eswatini on May 2nd. He discussed cooperation on economic, agricultural, and educational ties.
For both legs of his trip, he used the King of Eswatini's private plane. The African country's deputy prime minister was also on board. The aircraft took a long route over the southern Indian Ocean while avoiding the 3 African countries that had complied with Beijing. It then flew over Australia's Christmas Island, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines before returning to Taiwan. That's according to flight tracking apps.
想快快长大，才能保护它。的速度就越快嘛，而且你这个反弹的这个方向呢，等等，可能都还没有办法被确定嘛，哈，所以你可能打出一个，结果你反弹了好几个，啊，你打出一弹就或者是散弹，啊，这个就是所谓中共的愚蠢的这个撞球外交嘛，啊，而且注意哈，这个球中共打出来哈，不仅是打到台湾呢，打到很多。都必须要依赖这个非常自由的其他的国家哈。如果你中共动不动就可以随便去封锁第3国、第4国，甚至包括第5国的这个主权航空的话，那对于全世界任何一个国家来讲，那岂不是随时都会受到你的这个迫害嘛？
而且印度洋是那么关键的这个
对
军事的路径，
所以我觉得这一次台湾可以说很成功的把中共这种恶意的压力把它转换成台湾走向全世界的这样的一种动力和动能的话，堪称是2026年今年在整个印太地区地缘政治当中里面，台湾与这个中共之间一个非常精彩的国家智慧的博弈。
是，好，非常感谢老师。那节目最后我们请老师要用1分钟来总结今天的讨论。
好的。我们今天谈了3个问题嘛，第一个我就是界定高市早苗执政之后的政策归结为高市主义我提出了所谓的33论这个33论就是首先对于日本的国家自我的定位做了重大的转型，那么另外一个就是从过去的亲中变成今日的抗中，还有要把日本的自卫队改成国防军等等的还有最重要就是说建构一个更为宽广的日本同盟体系来对抗，一方面摆脱对中共的依赖另外一方面就是要去中共化所以这一次黄金周日本的内阁全员总出动那么做出了我所谓的外交兵团大作战而高市早苗访问的2个国家，一个是越南，是跟澳洲签署了各种足以去改变未来印太格局的一些新的做法所以这个高市主义呢，我觉得简单来讲就是新日本的崛起这是第一个问题。第二个问题我们谈到北约的命运北约当然一方面就受到这个川普总统他的国际观的影响而且美国近几年来一直主张一个叫国际有限主义，意思就是说美国不能够在天女散花全世界事情都要去管美国精疲力竭再加上就是说这一次美伊战争当中里面讲白了就是北约就是做闭箱管嘛而且还顺势搭便车当然这是否意味就是说美国跟欧洲的关系包括北约自身是否有裂解的可能那么短期来看应该没有这么大的一个危机但是川普应该会从撤军转向移防转移到这一个其他比较配合美国的其他的欧洲的国家，但是最重要的是在解决了伊朗问题之后，同时也从北约局部脱离撤离一些这个军事资源，2个加起来回转过来集中在印太地区。我说过了美国的敌人一不在中东的伊朗，也不在欧洲的俄罗斯， 美国最大的敌人是在亚太地区的中共啊。所以我们讲到赖总统成功的这个外交突围，我把它形容为叫做不倒翁的这个外交。相对于中共的撞球外交，我们展现出更多的外交创意、外交智慧，还有我们国家的软实力啊。所以我觉得这一次赖总统的出访，它不是光是就是什么国王专机的这种特殊待遇啦啊，或者是说通过这个马来西亚、印度、菲律宾等等这些第三国航线这样的一种系数性的含义而已。它最重要的含义是，未来的中华民国可以采取更多智慧型的这个外交，更多的外交的创意，走向全世界的每一个角落。